Mom, who hadn't heard from her daughter for over 72 hours, goes to extremes to track her down. Everything was in place for Nicole Walters, owing to her persistent determination and creativity. She had everything she ever needed and was grateful for it, but also fearful to lose any of it. In 2017, Nicole felt her life was close to falling apart. See, Nicole founded Monetize Thyself, an entrepreneurial venture in which she helps small business owners make their dreams a success. Though impressive, Nicole doesn't count her job as the most important thing in her world. First and foremost, Nicole cares about her family. She and her husband, who live in Maryland, adopted 3 children a couple years earlier, and they immediately became her greatest joy. Of course, parenting is never without its difficulties. That spring, her eldest child, whom Nicole affectionately nicknamed Big Tiny, graduated high school. With adulthood looming, this supermom did everything in her power to get her kid college ready. Once Big Tiny went off to school, Nicole fretted that her daughter would feel overwhelmed. After all, she remembered how stressful the university environment can be, so Nicole wanted to be there for her child, except she wasn't able to be. At one point over the course of 3 days, Nicole sent a bunch of texts that went unanswered. Her husband then called Big Tiny twice with no reply. In typical parent fashion, they began to worry that something terrible had transpired. But then Big Tiny finally got back to her family. Their phones lit up at 2 a.m. after her first day of classes. "Oh no, sorry, I was just out late," she wrote. Neither Nicole nor her husband could believe the inadequate response. For one thing, Nicole needed an explanation of why her child went off the grid for 72 hours. She surmised that it couldn't have been for a good reason, as the library wasn't open 24 hours a day. Something was keeping Big Tiny up so late. Nicole feared that in her first week of college, her daughter was already blowing off her responsibilities so she could have a good time. Unacceptable. The Walters paid her tuition so she could earn a degree, not so she could socialize. Ultimately, Nicole saw that she had to stand her ground. Just because Big Tiny wasn't physically under her roof anymore didn't mean that she was free to disregard all of Nicole's motherly advice. But what was the best way to get this across? One slightly crazy idea popped into Nicole's head. Gathering her keys and her husband, she climbed into her car. Maybe Big Tiny didn't like answering her phone, but she wouldn't be able to ignore her parents if they surprised her in person. As they sped off toward their daughter's college, Nicole realized her plan might be going overboard a bit. On the other hand, it was only natural. In all walks of life, moms go to extremes if it's the best interest for their kids. A mom protects her pups. As soon as she set foot on campus, Nicole started filming herself and laid out her genius plan. She would walk around with a flyer urging students to tweet her any photos of Big Tiny acting irresponsibly. It also came with a hefty reward. Nicole offered any cooperating students a $10 Starbucks gift card and free pizza. She knew this was an effective threat because college kids would do anything for some pizza, and that wasn't the end of her offer either. If her daughter ever ghosted her parents again, Nicole vowed that she would make 500 copies of her flyer and distribute them all over campus. "When your mommy's an entrepreneur, I don't have anything else to do," she explained. Within a few minutes, Nicole's daughter arrived, though she remained off camera. She apologized for her non-responsiveness, but also couldn't help but laugh at her mom's hilarious poster. Then Nicole shoved a ton of bananas in her child's face, saying she needed the potassium. All in all, the Walters clan enjoyed the humor behind the surprise visit, but it didn't completely make up for their daughter's actions over the past 3 days. Her parents weren't leaving without an explanation. She confessed that she hadn't, in fact, placed herself in any mortal danger that weekend. Most of the time, she just binged Netflix with her classmates in the dorm. Still, Nicole demanded change in Big Tiny's behavior. And Nicole got that change. Realizing communication was more important than ever in their relationship, Big Tiny made sure to FaceTime with her mom once a week. She also kept her family updated on her studies, which she was taking quite seriously. It might have cost her an embarrassing episode, but Nicole was proud to have been through her daughter. Her video went viral and gained over 7 million views. The outcome was only positive. Nicole's daughter gained a notoriety in her campus. Big Tiny made many new friends and received wishes of her well-being during a tough period. When it comes to creative parenting, Nicole has her family covered.